Every day life's happening. Some days are more eventful. Others, living protected with insurance you can depend on changes your life for the better. We insure the people and things you care about. Not Agency. We'll help you find the right coverage so when life happens, you have the right insurance protection for your family and business. When life happens, live protected. Agency for all your insurance needs.
Good morning and welcome to Radio Friends on Tuesday, June the 26th. Good to have you with us today. We have a book author, first time on Radio Friends. His name is Neal Fandek. Good to have you here, Neal.
Good to be here.
You've written a book, Peter Pike and the Murderous Mormons. Mm-hmm. This is an unusual title. Tell me about it.
It was not the original title. It was originally St. Barnum Blues, based on a fictional town, based on Quincy, St. Barnum, but my wife persuaded me maybe that's not as catchy as it could be.
So you decided on Peter Pike and the Murderous Mormons.
Yep.
Okay, what is the book about?
The book is an archaeological thriller, and by that I mean it's based in the current day. Routine Department of Transportation maintenance finds something in a Mississippian city. That was civilization here before us. And what they find are golden tablets, just as predicted in the Book of Mormon, and a crystal sword, also in the Book of Mormon.
Now, are you writing this book on facts of things that have actually happened, or are we looking at fantasy, or a little bit of both?
A little bit of both. I take things like excerpts from the Book of Mormon, Civil War history, things like that, and I just extrapolate.
Okay.
So,
how long did it take you to write this?
Probably about 9 months.
Well, that's pretty quick for a thick book like this. Correct?
I write rather quickly, but editing is a different story. That probably took something like 2 years.
Yeah. Now, I have not read the book. In fact, today was the first day that I actually had the book in my hands. But I'm going to just I was thumbing through it, and if I read a couple little maybe headlines from the book, can you go into detail about it?
Sure, be happy to.
This is chapter 11, and the title is The Biblical Basis for Zombies. Now, what is the biblical basis for zombies?
It's a biblical reading, like I say. There's a lot of fact in there, references, for lack of a better word.
To zombies?
Well, I forget the exact biblical prophet, but yes, a few prophets are slain in a city. On the third day they rose. I have a scene set in a Catholic church. The protagonist, my ex-military policeman veteran who gets enmeshed in this hunt for treasure. He and his girlfriend go to church, and the pastor there, makes reference to this reading and to the fact that there are things in our midst we don't understand, so let's leave them to God. But the title itself came from after I'd written it. I try to come up with something catchy.
Yeah. It sounds like the book goes in many different directions.
It does. I try to tie together a lot of things. There's no doubt about it. But it's meant to come together as a coherent whole. Mm-hmm. It's pretty much a thriller. And my secondary aim, the idea is entertainment, of course, but maybe people get a little bit interested. Reading the Bible, maybe not. But looking into Mormon history a little bit, looking into the Mississippian civilization, the guerrilla war in Missouri. So if people come away with a sense of, gee, there's more here than I thought, I've succeeded.
Right. Here's something, this was on page 190, signs in a restaurant that was nearly empty. Please, no tipping, and please again keep 4 legs of your chair on the floor, and please keep your feet on the floor or you will be expelled. We mean it. What is the purpose of that?
That's a good question. I wish I knew. But it's my fictional town of St. Barnum is actually Quincy, Illinois, which is a fascinating place. There's a Maid-Rite. Maid-Rite produces, well, basically it's powdered hamburger. It's chained, it's a defunct chain, but these are real signs on the wall in the Maid-Rite in Quincy, Illinois. And as I said, I was stalking around Quincy, trying to get ideas, trying to get inspiration. I saw those signs, and I just copied them verbatim.
Yeah, well, those are interesting. Here's one more. This is chapter 20. I love the smell of cranberry Danish and vodka in the morning. How do you explain that one?
Well, again, it's meant to be a provocative chapter title, but my protagonist is a ex-military policeman veteran. He's homeless when we first encounter him, and he's got a few issues. So he gets enmeshed in this hunt for treasure, the golden tablets, the crystal sword. His instinct is to flee. He borrows his girlfriend's car, and he's about to take off to parts unknown, stops for gas, and his first instinct is to stop for a vodka. But he changes his mind, gets coffee, and drives back into the maelstrom.
All right. I gave it one more because we're almost out of time. This is chapter 21, The Fall Guy. The witchy house was bathed in morning light as Pike pulled into Ghost Hollow Lane.
You make it sound so good.
So we're dealing with ghosts and goblins here, or
no, not really. There's slight supernatural element. I have a Mormon Avenger, based on a real Mormon Avenger, by the way, and he has the ability to kind of disappear into the background, which is actually, apparently, it's an old detective trick. And I have another character, works for the Department of Transportation. Unexplained fires occur whenever he's around. So supernatural,
like
not
that.
really. You knew somebody like that?
I knew someone like that, yes, I did, who could cause spontaneous combustion. But the book, it sounds like an interesting book, an unusual book, Peter Pike and the Murderous Mormons, by Neal Fandek. How can people get a copy of this if they would like it?
Yellow Dog Bookstore and Amazon, of course.
Okay, Yellow Dog Bookstore and Amazon. In the short time that we have left, why should somebody want to read the book?
It's a thriller, first of all. People are time pressed. I have very little time. I mean, I'm sure there's some people who do, but I don't. So you can read it and get thrills, get your literary thrills, but also at the end of the day, maybe learn something.
Okay.
Learn something about Missouri.
What did you learn in writing the book?
That the Mormons have gone through an awful lot, and that basically their trek is biblical. Brigham Young essentially was an American Moses who led his people out of captivity.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Neal, for coming by. Appreciate your time. And best of luck with the book, Yellow Dog Bookstore on Amazon.com. Tomorrow, MU Healthcare and MU Theater. If there's something that you would like to hear or see, I would love to hear from you. Drop me an email at simplypepperp@missouri.edu. Have yourself a good day.